Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, welcome to episode number 12 of our EAFC 26 career mode. For the first time this year, we are not starting with West Ham career mode. We are starting with the Werder Bremen career mode. If you haven't watched the last couple of episodes of this series, make sure you go back and watch the last two and you'll understand why we have moved on from West Ham United to the German team Werder Bremen. And we did have our first game with Werder Bremen in the last episode at the end, and we did win that one 3-1 with a hat-trick from Victor Boniface to kick us off in a really nice positive way. But we mentioned in the last episode, we obviously wanted to get some youth players into this Werder Bremen team. Not knowing the team too well, we wanted to create our own little identity on it, and we did mention the youth academy in that. So we did go and send out two scouts, one for a centre back from the native team Germany, and one for two positions, left wing and a right wing from the African nation Algeria, both only for 3 months. Obviously we've only got a couple of months left of this season, so both only for 3 months. Hopefully they can come back with some talents in there, and then hopefully they can integrate into the team over the next couple of months, over the summer, and potentially into next season as well. But we start off this episode with our first game, and it is away from home for the first time, away from home with this Werder Bremen team, and it is against the team from the capital, Union Berlin. And Victor Boniface, it says there, obviously scored a hat-trick in his last game, in our first game in charge of Werder Bremen, and hopefully he could carry on his goal-scoring form and continue to lead this team up the table and hopefully to a position where we're happy with and we're happy to build on. But we knew it was going to be a difficult game against Union Berlin, recent Champions League team. We know they've got some good players in there, but it was us who got off to a better start. Boniface with a good chance there when the ball fell to him in the middle of the box. Got the shot away, but unfortunately a fairly easy save from Union Berlin goalkeeper when it was straight at him. And then from a resulting corner, it falls back out and gets recycled back to Boniface into Schmidt, who sends the ball in. Jens Stark with a header. Goalkeeper gets a touch, but didn't have a strong enough hand, and the ball just falls into the back of the net. And it's Jens Stark for his third goal of the season, his first one under our management. And we do take an early 1-0 lead into this game against Union Berlin. But Berlin started coming back then. Lubicic does manage to get Union Berlin back in the game in 20 minutes into the game. Good goal from him, and Union Berlin continued to attack and continued to fight an absolute onslaught to us, to be fair, and Cole Hein had to be at his absolute best, and unfortunately he couldn't save anything. And Union Berlin, just 7 minutes after their first goal, did manage to get their second goal to take the lead in this one, and it is Andre Schaefer who gets his 5th goal of the season to put Union Berlin 2-1 up. But we were still going to get opportunities, and there was an opportunity for that man Victor Boniface on the edge of the box with that right foot of his, but unfortunately not in the corner quite enough and saved by the Union Berlin goalkeeper. And then just 10-15 minutes before half time, Union Berlin did manage to get their second goal of the game, and a little dink ball into the box. Goalkeeper came out, got lost in no man's land, and Tim Skark was there to head the ball over goalkeeper and give Union Berlin that 2-goal lead and a 3-1 lead at this point. But we had a really good chance there, point blank range with a shot, but once again straight over goalkeeper and saved. And we did go into half time at 3-1, and the way Union Berlin were playing, we were going to do well to keep it at 3-1, and we needed Cole Hein to be in absolute top form to keep the score as low as possible. But unfortunately, Skark got his second goal of the game. A challenge came in, the ball eventually fell to Skark in the middle of the box, and an easy finish for him. Curl past Cole Hein in our goal to give Union Berlin a 4-1 lead. And at this stage of the game, we knew it was going to be a really difficult one with just 15 minutes left. We knew it was going to be difficult to reduce that 3-goal deficit and get anything out of this game, but we gave our best shot. Jim Moore with a decent chance, stretching for it a little bit, and saved by Rono in the Berlin goal. And then just 5 minutes before half time, Scott gets a chance for a hat-trick, takes a few deflections, and then the final shot from Lubicic does just dribble wide of a post to keep the scores at 4-1. And we did decide to make a change. We did take the main man off Boniface to give Top a chance. We mentioned in the last episode that obviously we wanted to use the players we've got, see what all of them are like. Obviously, we don't know too many of their players. If anyone is an avid Bundesliga or Werder Bremen fan, then make sure you drop it in the comments below and let me know who the best players are and who we should be playing. But we wanted to give everyone an opportunity. 4-1 down, we knew Boniface on his own wasn't going to be able to bring us back into that game, so we did replace him. But unfortunately, the score did end 4-1. And then after the game, we did get the message that we were ready to move Jim Moore to his right wing position from his striker role, and he is going to be our permanent right winger on that right hand side. And we do go into our second game of the episode, and we do make a few changes in this game. We do make a change to the centre back position, and we also make a change to the defence midfielder position with Alvaro coming on. And what I didn't realise until I checked, Alvaro is 6'8" in the middle of that park. And he's an unbelievably tall defensive midfielder. Really good physical stats, as you would expect from a player who's 6'8". You'd really expect his physical stats to be up there with the best, and they really are. And he's a really good player, to be fair, from when I've used him in these last couple of games. But unfortunately, we did go 1-0 down fairly early on, or very early on in the first couple of minutes. But we got a chance to come back. Good shot from Boniface there, but saved or just hit the goalkeeper and went behind for a corner kick. And it is Puertas, who also has come in for Schmidt in this game, to swing the corner in and try to get us back into this game. But it's a good punch from the goalkeeper from Mainz to push the ball out for another corner kick. And it is the Spanish man, Puertas, bringing that ball in again. Doesn't quite manage to reach anyone. It falls to the defender. And then Hans Olsen looks to play it out. For some reason, he doesn't clear the ball. Puertas is there. He nicks the ball off his feet. Falls to Boniface. Boniface plays it back. And it's that man, the 6'8" giant, Alvaro, smashes one with that right foot of his into that top corner to bring the scores back to 1-1. The Frenchman, Skelly Alvaro, only his second game of the season, and he gets his first goal. He's not the highest rated. He's still a young player. But like I said, his physicality in the middle of the park, I mean, even if you just look at his highlight, you can see him there. He sticks out like a sore thumb with his height. And he's going to be an unbelievable player for us. And he's played really well in this game and in the next game as well, so definitely one we're going to be using going forward as well. And that's what I mean about we're not just going to be using the highest rated players, and this is the blessing of not knowing too many of the players. We can just use the players which we think are best, have the best stats for what we're trying to do, and perform the best for us. So, but we kept the scores at 1-1 towards the end of the first half, but a decent chance there for Mainz, but a good save from a goalkeeper to push that one behind. There was a challenge in there from Jens Starger, who slid in and did pick himself up a yellow card just after that ball went behind for the corner. And then it's Amiri who swings the ball in. Ball falls to Lee Jang-sung, and a good header from him past Kohlheim, and he does give Mainz the 2-1 lead back in front in this game with about 15 minutes left of this half. And we obviously want to try and get a goal before half time to try and make our conversations at half time a little bit easier. But it was Mainz who kept attacking. Ball falls to Nebel. He looks to dribble around our players, gets a decent shot away through bodies, but a good save once again from Kohlheim to keep that ball out back of the net. And once again it's Amiri who goes out to that right hand side to take the corner, swings one out of that right foot of his, it falls towards Da Costa, good header, and eventually Lee Jae-sung picks the ball up after we couldn't clear the ball and has an open goal, just smash that one in for his second goal of the game and Mainz's third goal of the game. So 3-1 to Mainz before half time at Werder Bremen at our home is not a good position for us to be in, but we knew we had opportunities and we knew we could potentially bring this one back in the second half. And the first one of those fell to Boniface. Really good feet, really good dribbling, but unfortunately the keeper stood tall and got a hand to it to push it behind for a corner. And then from the corner, Puertas once again swinging that ball out of his right foot. It falls to Starger, can't quite get there, falls back out to Puertas, looking to swing another one in. Jinma's there and a good header. Defender didn't jump for it, and Jinma was there to knock that one down, get his third goal of the season, and bring the scores to 3-2, and give us a real chance of potentially coming back into this game and picking up a point. And we're going to keep going. Boniface with a quick 1-2 with Alvaro. Alvaro with a chance for his second goal of the game, just touches the goalkeeper, slows the ball down, and unfortunately didn't quite trickle over the line. And then 10 minutes before the end, Mainz get a chance here. It's Nebel with a shot, but blocked by the defender and goes behind for a corner kick to keep the scores at 3-2. And then just a couple of minutes later, it's Boving on the right hand side, falls into Friedel. Friedel gets the clearance, but it bit ping pong, falls into Hollerback, but a good save for point blank range from Kohlheim to keep the scores at 3-2. But unfortunately, we did end up losing that on 3-2. So an entertaining game, but still a loss. And then we go into the final game of the episode, and probably the biggest team we've played so far since we've joined Werder Bremen, and it is away from home against Wolfsburg. And again, we made the change in the left back position with Schmidt coming in for Agu. We kept Alvaro in there in that defence midfield role after his performance. And we kept the same, apart from that, we kept the same team as we did in the previous game. But Wolfsburg, we knew were going to be a difficult challenge for us, and it started off just as we expected. Sousa picks the ball up, the ex-Sheffield United midfielder, smashes one in after that corner came in, and gives Wolfsburg a 1-0 lead just 3 minutes into this game. And it is the Brazilian Vinicius Sousa, as I say, previous Sheffield United player, who does give the German Giants that 1-0 lead. And we knew it was going to keep coming. Sousa picks the ball up once again in the middle of the park, falls to Wimmer with a good shot, but once again Kohlheim was there, stuck two hands at it, pushes the ball behind, and it does go out for a corner, which the man who had that shot, Wimmer, is going to go out to take. He swings one in towards Jens. Jens gets the header, falls to Amura, but fortunately Kohlheim was there once again to keep the ball out back of the net and keep the scores as low as possible. But the onslaught just kept coming. Gerhardt with a good shot, curls it around the goalkeeper to double Wolfsburg's lead, an assist for Wimmer, and the 2-0 lead for Wolfsburg in this one. And then just a couple of minutes after that goal, Wimmer once again beats the defender, fires one in on that left foot of his and puts Wolfsburg 3-0 up in just 22 minutes of this game. So a real struggle for us in this one. We did have some opportunities, but nothing too much. Alvaro with a good shot, but straight over goalkeeper Muller to keep the scores at 3-0. And then it was ourselves who got another really good chance here. Boniface with a really good ball into Jinmar. Jinmar looks to beat his defender, gets the ball onto that left foot of his, gets a decent shot away, but once again, Muller was there to push the ball behind and put it out for a corner kick. And then Schmidt looks to take the corner, swings one in with that right foot of his towards Boniface. Boniface with a good header, smashes the top of the crossbar, and unfortunately we couldn't get anything from that one, so the scores did stay at 3-0. Then just before half time, a good chance of Bangula, but unfortunately a little bit of a heavy touch in the snow, and the goalkeeper managed to collect that one nice and easily. So we did go into half time with that 3-0 loss at a minute, but straight away we got a chance. Boniface beating his defender in the middle of the box, getting the shot away, but saved by the goalkeeper once again. And then it was Wolfsburg a chance to get another goal for them. Wimmer with a really good shot, first time, past Kohlheim, and give Wolfsburg a 4-0 lead. So we had a period of getting chances. We had a few good shots and a few good chances, but unfortunately it was Wolfsburg who came back and managed to get themselves another goal in this one. And then Wimmer, looking for his hat-trick, just goes wide of a post and out of play. But Wolfsburg carried on attacking. It's Wimmer once again, really good shot from a wide angle, and Wimmer does eventually pick up his hat-trick to get his third goal of the game, his 10th of the season, and give Wolfsburg a massive 5-0 lead in this one away from home. So definitely one we weren't pleased with, and definitely one we would definitely need to put behind us in this one. It happens every now and again. We've seen it with the West Ham side of this career mode, and it's going to happen with this Werder Bremen team. We're not naive to that, so we just need to obviously put these results behind us and move on from them. But once again, towards the end of the game, we made a couple of changes. Puertas coming back on, and the youngster Hansen also coming on in that attacking midfield role, again just to see what other players are like, see what they can do. And it's Hansen who got immediately involved. 1-2 with Boniface, looks to play down that left hand side, flicks one back into Boniface, and a goal for Boniface to consolidation goal more than anything, break Wolfsburg's clean sheet, and it obviously is 5-1, but really good to see Hansen straight after coming on does manage to get a hat-trick. Wolfsburg nearly got their 6th, save from Kohlheim, pushed it onto the top of the crossbar, which didn't malleate to anything else. And then we did try to make the break, but unfortunately Wolfsburg picked the ball up, falls into Skov Olsen. Skov Olsen looks to beat the defender, decent shot, but once again Kohlheim's there to push that one behind for a corner kick. And then just before the end of the game, it's Boniface once again looking to cut inside, plays into Alvaro. Jinmar gets a shot first time, but unfortunately a poor shot straight at the goalkeeper, and once again it's pushed behind for another corner. Puertas looks to swing this one in to round out the game towards Alvaro, the big man, can't quite get there. Boniface wins a header. Puertas looks to swing one back in towards Alvaro once again, but unfortunately the big man can't put his header on target. Does go wide of a post, goes out for a goal kick, and puts the game to bed with Wimmer getting that hat-trick and a massive victory for Wolfsburg. But we went to check on the Carabao Cup. Obviously we got West Ham to that final. They relieved us of our duties before we could play that one, and unfortunately West Ham did lose that one, probably as expected, 3-1 against Tottenham at Wembley. I mean, just looking at our own league, we are currently sitting in 13th place, 29 points, only 6 points clear of those relegation playoff spots, so definitely need to be careful and pick up some points fairly soon. And then just looking at the Premier League, obviously we want to keep an eye on West Ham. That's where we started this career, and unfortunately West Ham fans will not thank me. They're still bottom of the league, and they are 8 points away from safety with just 7 games left to go. So we'll keep an eye on that one throughout this, as well as obviously concentrating on Werder Bremen at this point. But as always, this is going to bring the episode to an end. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Obviously it is a new team, hopefully you are enjoying it. If you do, make sure you comment below, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to follow the journey. There'll be plenty more ups and downs in this one. As always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.